Shaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode 69, nice, of the 815 Exchange. And well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, people of all ages, what a week, what a week, what a week. One of the most memorable weeks I feel like we said this a couple times this year, so honestly it's been a good year for sports. But what a memorable week it's been, especially in college football. I mean, it's just been mad. It's been a mad 24 hours. If you follow me on social media, you know exactly why it hit. But that's not even what we're starting off with today. We're going to start off with combat sports because we got to talk about what happened in boxing. It's just so much. College basketball what a week. What a week. What a week. What a week. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. We'll talk about some more tragic stuff in entertainment. Even that segment's not too big. As always, like I say, everything you're looking for is in the description. Social media links. You want to follow me on social media. TikTok just popped off yesterday, or I guess last night. So if you want to check that out, what I had to say about Lincoln Riley, and once again, we'll talk about it in college football. Check me out there. It's also in the outro. Also, timestamps. You try to skip ahead. You're looking for that NFL segment. You want to hear what I talk about, the Packers or the Bucks in the NFC, whatever it is. Feel free, skip ahead. It'll take you right there. Or the Bengals killing the Steelers. I mean, they killed the Steelers. But also, like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. You guys have been fantastic lately. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe. You guys know how this goes. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any more time with this intro. Combat sports. George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. walked in against one lightweight king, Teofimo Lopez, who has been the talk of the town since uncrowning Vasily Lomachenko from not only the pound for pound #1 spot, but for 4 of his titles. You know, Teo has been talking a lot. Teo has been talking a whole lot about he is the leader of the new school, how he is the future of boxing, how he is here to take over, hence the nickname The Takeover, and how he is changing the guard, right? He was the guy. His father also talks a bunch, talks a whole lot, talks a very, very big game. But on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, all that talk showed that it meant absolutely, positively nothing. As Kambosos came to play, he came ready. He was game. You could tell that all that training, it was here. He wasn't just going to be some guy that they picked up to feed to Teo before Teo, who was looking ahead, already talking about going up to 140. His dad was talking reckless about the real undisputed, or an actual undisputed champ in Josh Taylor. And you know, everybody up at 140 saying, he can't mess with us. Tank can't mess with us. The rest of the 4 kings can't mess with us. Doesn't matter, right? Saturday night, Sunday morning, that all came to an end as George Kambosos started off, an insane first round, by the way. An absolutely insane first round. Of course, concluding with Teo getting knocked down for the second time in his career, really the first time in any major fight. Kambosos put him on the ground. And from that moment on, something just felt different about this fight. Now, me and my barber, shout out to Star, shout out to J Star. We talked about this a couple months ago. We had this big slate of boxing matches coming up. He asked me, Chris, what do you think? Who do you think is most susceptible to getting upset? Out of the, people coming up, I think it was Bud, I think it was Canelo, I think it was like Teo, right? I said Teo. Said because the long layoff, and because, you know what? I think Kambosos is pretty good. I know he's still a little bit of an unknown, but from what I've seen, he looks like he's got the goods. And well, on Saturday, I was proved to be right because George had the goods. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't have picked Teo to win this fight. But my, George had the goods, and he gets the split decision win to become the new unified lightweight champion of the world. He is now king at 135, and that has broken this division wide open. Broken it wide open. Lord knows where we go from here. Now, Haney, he's got his fight coming up. We'll see if he handles business. That's actually in a couple of days. Same thing with Tank. Also has his fight coming up. We'll see what happens coming in a couple of days. We'll see what happens there. Of course, Ryan is on the mend, dealing with, the handing. Shakur, I will pay you respects because honestly, talent-wise, you deserve to be mentioned among the 4 kings, quote-unquote, the new 4 kings. But you're partying in 130. You're not 135 yet. You're sweeping up 130, so I'm going to let you handle that. But lightweight it's been broken open. It's been broken completely open. Loma's still here. And he might be the second best, right? He's still in the game. It's just a matter of getting these guys to fight each other. I think if Haney handles business, I think that's where George should go there. Go for unification and go for undisputed, so we can have an undisputed 135 champ. TL, he says the weight cut, and we've been saying this for a while, that he's moving up to 140. Go ahead, move up to 140. Unfortunately, you don't get to skip the line like you would have if you kept, and retained your titles. But sure, go ahead to 140. But I'll get back to TL after I finish matchmaking here. I think Haney versus Kambosos. I would love to see Gervonta versus Loma. And I think Ryan, when he comes back, needs to take down another top-level contender, whether that's a Linares, whether that's a Nakatani, whether that's a Comey after this Loma fight, right? Knock down, take out another contender, and we can move on from there. And once we do that, then we can keep going, progress from there, and we can get to these fights, get to you guys fighting each other, because then it was almost like tournament style. But 135, once again, is heated back up for Teofimo Lopez. Get rid of your father. I don't know what his corner advice was, but it was god-awful. There was no way in hell you actually can legitimately, watching that fight back, whenever you get to, or if you do, which you should, think you won 10-2. I don't even know how you're in the motions of that fight and you think you won 10-2. Absolutely not. At most, it was a draw for you. At least you lost up to maybe 3 rounds. He was up on you. I had him up 2. Closed out the last 2. I had it tied going into the 10th like a lot of people. I think Chris Mannix had it as well like that. And then, he took off at 11th and 12th. All credit due to George. But, Tio, get rid of your father. Get with the real camp. The talent is there. And you fought back like a champion. We're almost there. But you gotta get out of it. The pride comes before the fall. And the pride, we saw all the pre-fight, all summer long while it was getting canceled, we saw all of this pride whelm up. You got too lost in the sauce. So when it was time to go, when the lights got bright, you were all so caught up in your ego, especially in that first round, you became reckless. And the pride became before the fall. The pride got in the way, and the fall came. And you fell, legitimately, literally you fell. And then you lost 2 belts. So hopefully this humbles Tio. This gets that hunger back. This is the ego check that he needs. Boxing is one of those sports where a loss doesn't end your, it's not the end of the line. Hopefully this is the check that he needs to reach his super duper high potential. But that wasn't the same guy we saw fight Loma. And yeah, just all credit though to Kambosos. He came out with a perfect style. He showed that he's got the goods. He showed that he belongs amongst the elite. Hell of a win. Can't wait to see what he does next. Stand-up dude by all accounts. Went through a lot, getting to this fight, and he got it done. That's all that needs to be said. Y'all can let me know how y'all feel, but hey, all power due to Kambosos. Now for college football, because my, what a week it was in college football. Good Lord, this segment might be 20 minutes. But, for the sake of time, let's get it started. And of course, I have to start about my dear school here at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, also known as simply now just Charlotte. Classic Charlotte, you know what I mean? Go down 28-7, storm back. But it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be because we have the worst defense in FBS football, especially the worst run defense as Blake Watson goes for 106 and 2 touchdowns. But there's more. This time, Passing, we got, 8 up. We got 8 up. Ollie Jennings the third, 9 receptions, 252, 3 touchdowns. We couldn't stop anybody. We made ODU look like prime LSU. It was bad. It was bad. We fought back, all credit due, but we did not deserve to go to a bowl game. Watching this game, looking at the ball, we didn't deserve it. We didn't deserve it this year. I remember when I was on here, I was like, man, the program's up good. We're 4-2. We only need 2 more. We got this in the bag. And then from the bye week, we folded and folded and folded. And the one win we got over a team that we should have beat the brakes off of, we barely each bye, even though it was a glorious moment. It was the last game I got to attend for the year. We stormed the field at Jazz and won in overtime. It was thrilling, super blah, blah, blah. But it should have been that close. It was just a disappointing season. A disappointing season. We need a new defensive coordinator. I hope Healy, since he's not going anywhere, since he didn't have the impressive season, right, to get poached. Hopefully he's out there on, recruiting defense because we need defense. We can score. I'm a little bit worried about the offense without CR3 next year, even though it'll be interesting to see how that, offense works without a quarterback like CR3. And with all, the seniors graduating. And I'll miss some of them. Vic Tuck, Tyler Murray. But it's going to be interesting. We better be out here recruiting because we need a hell of a recruiting class, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We didn't get it done. Credit to ODU. You're going bowling. Charlotte, we didn't earn it. Simply put, we didn't earn it. Now let's talk about the Egg Bowl. Good Lord. Good Lord. Egg Bowl, it always delivers, doesn't it? Always delivers. Always during the week as well. So it kicks off kind of this rivalry, this hate week. And it came. But honestly, it wasn't as controversial as some Egg Bowls in the future. There was no Elijah Moore pissing in the end zone. There was none of that. No controversial calls. Honestly, Ole Miss came through. They got the win 31-21 in Matty Ice's last regular season game. And speaking of Matty Ice, he had 279 and 2 touchdowns. He wins the quarterback duel versus Will Rogers, who ends with 336 yards passing and a touchdown. Shout out to Will Rogers, though. He completely rewrote Dak Prescott's single-season records. So all power to there. Also, big shout out to Drummond. 14 receptions, 138. He was the guy all day long for Ole Miss. And, a huge capstone win for Lane Kiffin. And really just kind of showing that he's got this program headed in the right direction. And it's a good time. It's a good time to be in Oxford. It's a good time to be an Ole Miss fan. They're up good. Only lost, two losses, 10-win season. So congratulations to Ole Miss. Rebs get it done. NC State and UNC. It's hate week. It's even hate week in North Carolina. Came down to the wire as expected between these two teams. Couldn't have seen it going any other way. Devin Leary finishes with 247 and 4 touchdowns. The last of those and the game winner to Emeka Emezi, who has been crucial all season for this NC State offense. Has really been Leary's favorite target. Dude has been, when big moments have appeared, Emezi has been there and he showed up big time every single time. Emezi, 5 receptions, 112 and 2 touchdowns, including that fantastic You Got Moss caliber catch that we better see tonight before Monday Night Football over the UNC defender for the win. And NC State gets it done against Carolina. They celebrated in glorious fashion in the locker room. And State deserved it. Set themselves up to almost get into the ACC championship. But Wade got the win later on and kind of closed them out. But overall, Dave Doran, he's got that NC State program going in the right direction. He's got him. He's figured it out. Whatever it is, he's figured it out. And great season. Even though didn't reach the ultimate goal of that ACC championship, great season for NC State overall. Knocked off your biggest rival. Can't get much better than that besides, of course, winning the rings. Michigan and Ohio State, the game. Something was different in the water. I had a feeling. I just had a feeling heading into this game. I was like, this isn't going to be the usual Ohio State trouncing of Michigan. I don't see it. Even though OSU was, seemingly before, and I heard everybody around me was like, okay, OSU was in Death Star mode. And I'm like, that defense isn't that great. CJ Stroud is, like, you talked about CJ Stroud. I won't slander him any further. It's nothing to that. I mean, the offense you should be worried about. Besides that, I think this is a winnable game. And I had a feeling when I woke up on Saturday. I had that feeling. I had that feeling about this game. And well, as you should know by now, I mean, honestly, if you're watching this segment and you don't know, Michigan gets the win 42-27, and John had his own problems in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh finally conquers OSU. Ryan Day loses his first Big Ten game of his career, and Michigan stuns and eliminates Ohio State from championship contention. Oh, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Chaos reigned. Chaos reigned, and it came through, and I couldn't be happier. No offense to my OSU fans, but I couldn't be happier. I want some new blood in the playoff, and here we go. Michigan finally conquers their demons. They get it done, and the big reason was because Hassan Haskins had the game of his life. 169, and not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 touchdowns for Hassan Haskins. A game performance, to put him in the hall of Michigan Ohio State game performances that will be remembered forever. Also, Heisman talks, let's talk about it. CJ Stroud, now he still had 394, 2 touchdowns. But he doesn't deserve the Heisman. I've been saying it. This is not me slandering him. He doesn't deserve the Heisman. Straight up, dude does not deserve the Heisman. He doesn't. Neither does Bryce Young, but we'll talk about that. Maybe somebody deserves the Heisman is somebody like, I don't know, Aiden Hutchinson. 7 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss. He was a menace all day long. That Ohio State offensive line got bullied. Got straight bullied by Michigan. They could do nothing with Hutch. They could do nothing with that entire defense. And they were causing them issues, causing pressure on Stroud all night long. JSN still did JSN stuff. 11 receptions, 127. Garrett Wilson still did Garrett Wilson stuff. 10 receptions, 119. Trevion Henderson still did Trevion Henderson stuff. 128 and 2 touchdowns. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. That OSU defense was the weak link, like we all suspected. I said earlier in the season, they don't got the stars that they used to, and it showed up. Michigan came through, top running offense in America, and they proved why. Haskins goes ballistic. Hunt shows why he's in top pick contention, and Michigan conquers their demons, conquers that red demon, and gets it done. They head to the Big Ten Championship, where they control their own fate, and potentially getting into the college football playoff for the first time in school history. I would love to see it. Congrats to Michigan. Continuing on here, Baylor took on Texas Tech, and this was another one that went down to the wire. Baylor without their starting quarterback. So we had to put the freshman in. Blake Shapen came in, and he came through. Shapen came through clutch as well. He had 254, 2 touchdowns. Abram Smith was huge. 117, a touchdown for him. Ebner, 4 receptions, 118, 1 touchdown. They were able to do enough. Baylor was able to do enough to eke by Texas Tech and clinch themselves a spot in that Big 12 championship. Went down to the wire, like I said. Came down to it, but they were able to get it done. Special shout out, though, for Texas Tech. Smith had 262 and 2 touchdowns. Kuntz, the receiver, 5 receptions, 117 and a touchdown. Not a bad game from him. North Texas and UTSA. UTSA was the 3rd undefeated team since he handled business. Georgia handled business against Georgia Tech. It all came down here to UTSA. Would there be a 3rd undefeated team in college football this year? Well, I don't know if it was the conditions or what it was, but UTSA got stunned. North Texas has been on fire to end the season, by the way. I mean, on fire here in the Conference USA. They get the win 45-23. It wasn't really remotely close. They ran wild on UTSA. Ragsdale, and I'm not talking about the school in Jamestown, 146 and 2 touchdowns. 108 on the ground for the other running back from North Texas. Murphy had, 5 tackles, 3 sacks. Great game from him. UTSA, I think they had 5 fumbles, threw a pick as well. Like, it was an awful day turnover-wise for UTSA, and it came back to haunt them over and over and over and over again. The North Texas pulls off the huge upset. The dream season for UTSA concludes. Of course, they still got the conference championship. It's not the end of the world. But the magical undefeated season, and any claim they wanted to, pull in maybe like a UCF and claiming themselves national champs. Unfortunately, it's over. It's over. Still could be kings in the Conference USA. Still could win the conference. Still could get a nice little bowl here. But, it's over. North Texas taking them down. Iron Bowl. Tank Bigsby, normally we're on here. We're singing his praises. Honestly, he was pretty much invisible for most of the game. Much of the offense until we got to overtime was invisible for both teams. Honestly, it was a great defensive game. A great defensive game. Creevers for 23 for Auburn. Quarterback went crazy. The secondary was fantastic until overtime. We'll talk about that. And really into the last minute of the fourth quarter. But Tank Bigsby, normally we sing his praises, but you got to get down, bro. You got to get down. You get down, and Alabama is eliminated from the playoff potentially. But unfortunately, he goes out of bounds. That gives Bryce Russell Wilson Young enough time to march down the field. And once again, I don't know what happened to the Auburn defense. They were fantastic all game until that point, which they forgot to cover John Mechie. Now Jameson Williams, JMO, got thrown out earlier, ejected for targeting earlier in the game. So you only really got to worry about Mechie, right? Slade Bolden, yeah, okay. Ja'Cory Brooks in the future, he scored a touchdown, right? Sent it to overtime. So, he was obviously a problem for y'all. But Mechie's the guy, right? Mechie is the guy. You got to guard it. No JMO, you got to make sure that Mechie doesn't beat you. And what did you do? You let Mechie beat you. 13 receptions, 150 yards for Mechie after JMO goes down. And it was Auburn finding ways to grab the L from the jaws of victory. All of the glory could have taken down Alabama, a 2-loss Alabama. We almost had it. Instead, we got to wait a week for it. Almost had it done. Shut down the offense. It was in your hands. TJ Finley over here playing with one leg, and y'all still should have won. You just knew Auburn was going to play up to Alabama, though, even with everything going on. If Bo Nix plays, this game is probably over, let's be real. But Auburn, always going to play them close. Went to 4 overtimes. Also, I hate the new OT rules. I absolutely hate it. Should have kept it the old way. I don't care if it goes on forever. Keep it the old way. The 2-point conversion back and forth is stupid. It's stupid. Go back to the old way. It's just unnecessary. I honestly don't understand why it was incorporated. But Bama gets the win. La-di-da. Of course, that sets up the big matchup versus Georgia in the SEC Championship that everybody and their mothers will be watching and probably rooting for Georgia if you don't live in the state of Alabama or even some people in Alabama probably want Alabama to lose because, like Auburn. But outside that subsection, Georgia, finish the job. Finish the job, please. Please finish the job. Please. We're begging you. Finish the job. Michigan State took on Penn State in the snow. And the superstars came out. The superstars were out for both teams. Kenny Heisman, that doesn't play for Pittsburgh. We're talking Kenny Walker III. Kenny came through with 138 and a touchdown. He showed up and he showed up and showed out, as Kenny has done pretty much every single game. That's why he's in Heisman contention. Sean Clifford also showed up. 3 for 13, 3 touchdowns. Jahan Dotson. Listen, if Penn State is playing, it doesn't really matter who they're playing. Jahan Dotson's going to go off. 8 receptions, 137, 2 touchdowns. My boy needs his respect. Top prospect, wide receiver wise. One of the in the draft this year. Gotta be. Honestly, he should be up for the Biletnikoff if he isn't already. But Michigan State, man, what a season. Mel Tucker also just got paid. They chalked up the big bucks for him, well deserved. But man, What a season. What a season. What a season for y'all, man. What a season for y'all. Y'all gotta feel good. Y'all gotta feel real good. You didn't make the Big Ten championship. You know, it's kind of hard in your division, but still hell of a season. Hell of a season with Walker. You looks like, you know, after the dumps you were in the last 3 seasons, Michigan State is back. And we're not saying that in the Texas is back. We're saying this in they're actually seem like they're back. So all credit due, all power to you. Congrats to Michigan State. Penn State, the nightmare is almost over. Don't worry. Honestly, I think it's a down season. Y'all recruit well. Y'all just locked up Franklin forever because, you know, we were threatening. We'll talk about what we did. But, yeah, Penn State, we'll see. We'll see. Y'all need some recruits to hit, though, this upcoming season with who you got going out. You need those guys coming in to hit. But Michigan State, congrats on the win. Wisconsin controlled their destiny. They could have been headed to the Big Ten championship, but it wasn't to be. Graham Mertz, garbage. Braylon Allen, shut down. Minnesota rode the boat all over Wisconsin. A fantastic defensive performance by P.J. Fleck and co. And Minnesota takes down Wisconsin. Wisconsin could never, ever get going. Just could not get going, and yeah, great job for Minnesota. Came to win, a huge win for P.J. Fleck, and a huge win for that Minnesota program. Tanner Morgan announced that he's coming back. He's been there for almost a decade, so it's crazy that he's still got eligibility. But yeah, congrats to Minnesota, big win over Wisconsin. LSU and Texas A&M, of course, it was announced before the game. Well, actually, not even before the game. A couple weeks ago, Coach O, this is his last, year. This was his last home game at LSU. This was how he was going out. Last regular season game, he gets Texas A&M, or ranked Texas A&M. So Coach O has got to go out the only way Coach O knows, and that's as the best interim coach of all time. He gets it done. LSU gets it done 27-24. They get it done late. Max Johnson plays probably his best game of the season, 306 and 3 touchdowns. Him and Calzada. Who would have expected Max Johnson, Zach Calzada at the quarterback duel? But that's what we got. Calzada, 242, 3 touchdowns. But Jenkins in the clutch, the receiver for LSU, gets it done, gets the game winner. 8 receptions, 169 on the day for him. Clemens, 3.5 sacks. Clark, 10 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 3.5 for a loss. Great defensive performance for some of those LSU guys. Showed up, showed out. And LSU gets it done, and Coach O, he won't be coaching the bowl game, so this was his last game, and what a way to go out. Really a true mic drop, a true go Tigers, go Tigers. So yeah, shout out to Coach O, legend in Louisiana. Y'all always have 2019. Y'all always have 2019. I'm sure you'll take all of the misery and the downs that were the past 2 years, all for that season, and I think any fan would, for a season like y'all had in 2019 with him. So, yeah, all power due to Coach O. He's a legend. What a way to go out. Wrong OSU. This is the OSU that is up good, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to help me transition into the next part of this college football segment, as Oklahoma State wins Bedlam. Oklahoma State and Michigan, going against their red team rivals, and they exercise the demons. Gundy and co. exercise their demons. Spencer Sanders threw 2 picks, and this was still probably one of the best games I've seen him play. 307 and 2 touchdowns. Caleb Williams was running for his life. I mean, he was running for his life the entire game. I mean, this was honestly, it improved his stock. That's how crazy this game was for him. It improved his stock, because I don't know how he was that slippery. I've never seen a quarterback shed so many sacks in my life, and he still got sacked like 4 or 5 times. And he was shedding them all game. Oklahoma State's defensive line and just defense in general was all over their team. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Superman had 215 and 3 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough. He just comes up short. Of course, we got that picture of him, slouched out on the bench, gave everything he had. Malcolm Rodriguez, 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss. He was all over the field. And man, listen, Oklahoma State, all power to you. Now you have a chance. You control your destiny. If you beat Baylor in the Big 12 championship, you will make the playoff. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. More new blood in the playoff. I would love to see it. I'm here for it, Oklahoma State. But yeah, they pull off the shocker. They take down Oklahoma and Bedlam. But that, unfortunately, it seems like Oklahoma State broke Oklahoma. They broke them because, the chaos didn't end after Bedlam it was only beginning. Because not even 24 hours after, we got reports that USC was looking for one Lincoln Riley. And well, the Trojans did what the Trojans did. We threw a bunch of money at old Lincoln, and well, he put the dagger in Oklahoma's night. He put the dagger in their weekend. And ladies and gentlemen, USC did something right. We did something right. We did something right. We have signed Lincoln Riley as our newest head coach and poached him from Oklahoma. And in doing this, we have caused a series of currently ongoing decommitments from the number one recruiting class in 2023, of course, headlined by one number 2 player and number 2 quarterback, Malachi Nelson, who was decommitted. Raleigh Brown looks like he's going to stay home. Just that entire, coincidentally, ironically, that recruiting base that had been built in Southern California, in Cali, that, Oklahoma had acquired to, build around that 2023 class. Now, conveniently, Lincoln gets to all take them over to Southern Cal and feast on the Pac-12. Now, listen, y'all should have consulted the man about the move to the SEC. You didn't. He saw opportunity to go to LA, to go to, USC, right? And feast on the Pac-12. You got to worry about Oregon and maybe UCLA and some upcoming programs. But it's not as torturous as whatever, like I tried to warn y'all, the SEC is going to be next year. And good luck to you now, because you're going to have to deal with transfers. You got to see if Caleb Williams is going to be there. You're losing coaches. You got to sign a new coach. Big Game Bob, of course, is coming back in the interim role for the bowl game, but don't know if he's staying the long term. It sucks. It sucks for Oklahoma fans. I'm not trying to hit on y'all, even though I'm a USC fan. It sucks. It's an unfortunate situation. It is what it is, though. It just puts Oklahoma. It sets that program back. Lincoln was given the keys to the castle. Was supposed to, rule over the throne for a long time, become an Oklahoma legend. But 4 years in, brought some Heisman trophies, brought a conference championship, but honestly, he had some disappointments. Which is why I'm being optimistically cautious. I'm absolutely happy because this is a home run hire. Recruiting is about to pick up again. It's a great time to be a USC fan. But I'm a little bit cautious. I don't want to get too lost in the sauce like Teofimo Lopez, and fall in love, and then we play like crap. I've been hurt by this USC team far too much recently, so I'm not falling too far. Man, oh man, it feels good. Oklahoma, good luck. Good luck with whoever you have to hire. But y'all are down horrendous right now. The recruiting class is about to fall apart. It's an insane situation that's ongoing, and we'll continue to cover it. I posted a TikTok about that, so if you want to check that out, go to my TikTok. The Magic Johnson, I'm not going to be here. That's how he was. And also Billy Napier from Louisiana. Don't know why LSU didn't go after him. He's headed to Florida. Big pickup for Florida. I think it's a great hire. Napier's done great stuff with Louisiana. And that's huge. Absolutely huge for Florida. Hopefully to get the swamp back going. And, with the young pieces like Anthony Richardson, we'll see what happens there. But that was a massive, massive week in college football. And to keep it going, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to quickly head over to entertainment, which is simply just a couple of things. Honestly, Hawkeye came out, so the TV series. So we got episode 1 and episode 2. Very, very interesting. Very interesting seeing Kate's family dynamic. Wondering what Jack is going to end up being. Wonder how that scenario, what if he's like a fake out villain or if he's an actual villain. Maybe her mother's sketchy. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of stuff going on. I love Haley Steinfeld. First off, I love Haley Steinfeld. I also love her and Jeremy Renner's chemistry. They're great. They play off each other so well. Clint and Kate have been an absolute treat. And very optimistic. Every one of the shows, it felt a little bit different. This one feels a little bit different, but I'm here for it. Of course, we're a couple days away, a couple weeks away from No Way Home. That's been the talk of the town. But Hawkeye to help starve us over. It's been good. Of course, and we got a lot more coming in that series. But very good first 2 episodes. Of course, to end this entertainment segment, unfortunately, on a sadder note, rest in peace to the legend Virgil Abloh, a streetwear absolute legend in fashion and design. Privately was battling cancer. Nobody knew. Unfortunately, he's gone at the age of 41, which is far too soon and far too young. Man, it was just shocking. It was just shocking. I hate that I'm becoming numb to these like celebrity deaths, man. I really do, because it was like, yeah. Okay, I kind of think so. I think I might be still reeling from like Dolph, but just unfortunate, man. And prayers go to his family, prayers go to his friends, and everybody at YSL and Ye and Drizzy and all of them. Sucks, man. Sucks. Fuck cancer. I'm not gonna censor that one. And yeah, just unfortunate. And yeah, like I said, all condolences, all prayers to everybody affected. But yeah, rest in peace, rest in power, Virgil. And ladies and gentlemen, some interesting stuff also happened in college basketball this week. By interesting, I mean Duke played Gonzaga, and of course, I'm a Duke fan. So I gotta talk I gotta bang my chest a little bit. I had a feeling. I was very excited. I was also very worried, as anybody that knows me would tell you. I was very worried about this matchup, as anybody facing Gonzaga, is worried, right? Reasonably so. They're the best team in the nation. It's understandable to be worried about them. But I felt like we matched up very well, which is why I was excited for the matchup. I felt like amongst the teams that Gonzaga would have to play, I felt like we matched up very well for them. And well, we did. We did. Paolo Banchero was the #1 pick. Let's start it off. We get to win 84-81 in one of the games of the year. Some people would say it's the game of the year. But one of the games of the year. Paolo Banchero he's the #1 pick. He's the #1 pick. Chet's still a very good player, but Paolo's the #1 pick. The way he came out in that first half before, his classic cramps, which we need to get that fixed. So strength and conditioning, I don't know what's going on, but we can't keep cramping up. We can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. We needed him for that second half, even though we won without him, which was a testament to the team. And we'll talk about who stepped up. But we need him. We need him. He could have dropped 40 in this game. Paulo was a monster. He showed it all. Pull up threes, running the break. This man is 6'10", 250. He's the first pick. Paulo is different. He is different. You know who else is different? Mark Williams. I need some respect on Big Mark's name. I need some respect on Big Mark's name. I try to tell y'all. A lot of people were discounting him, but it feels so good to have a center, and a center like Mark Williams. One of the, if not the best shot blocker in all of college basketball. Mark has 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks. Really should have been 6 because that wasn't a foul. But Marky Mark was a beast. He's a beast. He showed up huge for us time after time after time in that game. And it's him and Paulo, D.L. John, we got a squad, bro. We got a squad. Wendell Moore. I said last week or 2 weeks ago, I said player development is back here at Duke. And it showed yet here again. Wendell Moore, without Paulo, with us, in the scoring drought. Trevor Kills having the worst scoring game of his career, of his life. Roach wasn't going until he got the big bucket at the end, right? Even though they were playing fantastic defense. We needed to call on somebody. Mark stepped up, but Wendell Moore, 26, 6, and 4 steals. Wendell Moore was invaluable. He was the MVP for a reason. He stepped up massively in that second half for us and was really the reason why we won. Without Paulo, with nobody able to score, he showed up. He made the plays on defense. He got us the points on offense. He did everything we had to do. It's why he's the freaking captain, man. It's why he's the captain. The way he's grown as a player, it's been incredible. It's been incredible. Dude is a lottery pick. He's a lottery pick. Trust me, he is a lottery pick. And I think by the end of this year, he's going to be a lottery guy. He is that good. It showed why. Back in the day, he was #1. Back in our middle school, early high school days, he was the #1 and then one of the best players, a 5-star in our class. So yeah, shout out to Wendell. He was huge. For Gonzaga, Timmy had his struggles, got his stuff, but he had his struggles. Chet took a while to get going. Once Paulo was out of the game, he got going more. But really, Julian Strother has developed also very nicely from his freshman year to his sophomore year. Dude is a bucket. He's just a bucket. Jules is a bucket. He had 20 and 10. He was a beast. He was an absolute beast. I think this was the 2 best teams in the nation, in my opinion. Fantastic game. I think we could potentially do it again much later in the year. Felt like an April game, not a March game, an April game, and that should tell you about the quality of this game. But also, I have to give an honorable mention to Purdue for handling business. That team also looks very good. I think those three, Duke, Gonzaga, Purdue, are the three best teams in the nation. Baylor not too far behind there also. But yeah, just a great game I had to highlight. But that was college basketball. Oh, actually, before I say that, before I end off, a lot of upsets. Kansas got knocked off. That entire tournament's wild. A lot of upsets been going on. 4-bit WCC still available. Yeah, it's just been an interesting year. Michigan getting knocked off. It's just been interesting. It's been interesting. A lot of the early season stuff. A lot of chaos. We got the Big Ten ACC Challenge to look forward to this week. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that was the week in college basketball. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, of course, you know that means we have reached the NFL segment, which we're going to kick off, of course, with the Thanksgiving Day games, the Bears and the Lions. This was an ugly, atrocious, god-awful, please, I don't want to watch this game, which we kind of figured. Let's be honest, we figured this is how this game was going to go. When we saw the Bears and the Lions, these two teams are... It's ugly. The Lions. Just keep coming so close. Lose on a game-winning field goal here once again. Just keep coming so close. Y'all are going to be the best winless team of all time. You know, just the best. Goff had a solid game for his account. 21 for 25, 171, 2 touchdowns. But ultimately, it didn't matter. Mooney was a problem. 5 receptions, 123. And yeah, Matt Nagy still has a job after all the reports about him getting fired. He still has his job, and yeah, the Bears got to win. The Raiders and the Cowboys. Like I said, I didn't get too happy with this Cowboys team, man. You know, can't get too happy. Can't get too happy as a Cowboys fan because you just know we're gonna choke it all away. You just know we're gonna choke it all away. And what do we do, ladies and gentlemen? We've choked it all away. We have choked it all away this season. Now we're dealing with COVID after this game, but let's talk about the game. We lose in overtime to the Raiders, 36-33. Too many missed opportunities. Anthony Brown gets flagged for pass interference 4 times. Trevon Diggs did his job, but pretty much nobody else did. We need linebackers desperately besides Micah Parsons. I wish I could clone him 3 times. That dude is a monster. Shout out to Micah. The offense made a comeback, showed up. Dak, 32-47, won his cleanest game, 375, 2 touchdowns. Michael Gallup, it was his cleanest game, 5 receptions, 106. Hunter Renfrow is a problem, 8 receptions, 134. Start him in fantasy, by the way. Doesn't really matter. I think he's matchup proof. Start him. Derek Carr is one of the better quarterbacks I'd say in the league, if I'm being honest. 24 for 39, 373, 1 touchdown. He's got franchise upside, I believe. But yeah, it was brokenhearted once again by this team. The defense. It was the defense. I'm going to be honest, the defense couldn't stop them. Just could not stop them. We could not get a stop to save our life. Too many stupid penalties, and we lost. And just shaking my head. Shaking my head. The Bills get the win over the Saints, and they needed this one, by the way. The Bills, who have been up and down, but they get the win when it matters. Josh Allen goes for 4 touchdowns, 23 for 28, 260 here. Bills were in control the whole game. Wasn't really close. The Saints, I think, like I said last week, without Jameis, I don't really fear them. They don't really have a run game. The defense is not overly impressive. What was it? I almost want to say Marlon Humphrey. But Marshawn Lattimore getting routed up by Stephon Diggs. I think we've all seen that clip. But yeah, the Bills came to play. Defense shut the Saints down, which is not really hard right now. But Bills get a much-needed win. The Bengals and the Steelers. What happened? Pittsburgh, what happened? What happened? But then again, this is who you are. Actually. Not what happened. This is who you are. You are getting blown out by the Bengals. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Why Joe Burrow would go absolutely insane. We got dual threat Burrow in this game. He scored a touchdown, went 190 and a touchdown. But really, Joe, the main man, Mixon, showed up and showed out. 165 and 2 touchdowns for Mixon. T. Higgins had 6 receptions, 114 and a touchdown. Yeah, it was Ben is washed. All right, we're back to Ben is washed. All right, he is dishwasher washed. He is washing machine washed. All right, he is fresh towel sink washed. Okay, he's done. Draft a quarterback. Draft a quarterback. 2 interceptions. Passing game really couldn't get going. He also had 2 fumbles. Just it was a disaster, man. It was a disaster for the Steelers. The Bengals, I mean, evaporated. It wasn't close. 41-10 makes the score seem generous almost. The Bucks and the Colts played in one of the games of the year, I think, in the NFL. One of my friends also said that. Shout out to Maul. It was a great game. I had a feeling this was going to be a good game. I thought the Colts were going to give them a good test, but the Bucks still got it done at the end of the day. Lombardi Lenny, 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. But that wasn't all, because he also had 7 receptions for 31 yards and a touchdown. Fournette went crazy. He looked like the number 1 prospect that he was in high school and coming out of college. You right? And that's the Fournette we saw. He was a monster against the Colts. They had no answer for him, and they showed up big time. Vita Vea is a savage, lost the tooth, kept playing. Shaq Barrett had 2 sacks. For the Colts, once again, Wentz up and down. The 2 picks ended up being costly. He did go for 303 touchdowns. JT shut him down for the most part. He still had 83 and a touchdown, but for the most part, kept him in check, and that went a long way. Went a very, very long way in being able to keep the Colts in check, keep that offense in check, and doing enough offensively for the Bucks with Fournette going off. Able to get that win. Fantastic game. Probably the best game of the week in my opinion. But yeah, there was that. The Dolphins and the Panthers. All of the goodwill that Cam Newton had, it started to dry up a little bit. It was a nightmare game for Carolina, which I feel like I've said that a couple times this year. CMC gets hurt yet again. Cam Newton throws 2 picks and goes 5 for 21. It was bad. It was bad. It was a dream game, however, for Miami. Tua went 27 for 31, 230. I mean, Jalen Waddle went crazy. 9 receptions, 137 and a touchdown. Looks like he's going to be the guy in Miami, that number 1 receiver they've been looking for. It looks like he's that answer. And Miami gets a huge win to move to 5-7 and really, start to push back here in that AFC East, which is starting to look more interesting every week. But, Panthers. All that momentum you had, it died ever so fast. Patriots and the Titans. The Patriots continue to surge. Mac Jones threw for 2 touchdowns, 23 for 32 for Mac through 10. Kendrick Bourne had a hell of a game. 5 receptions, 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dude is a big play machine. Tennessee ran the ball well. Hillard had 131. Foreman had 109. And that makes up for it because Ryan Tannehill was frustrated out of his mind. That Patriots defense has been fantastic. J.C. Jackson, right, have been fantastic down the stretch here and have been the catalyst for this run that the Patriots are on. In this game, though, offense also is getting done. The Titans are kind of reeling right now. Without King Henry, they don't really have the same identity. They don't have the same effectiveness. People don't have that same fear in that Tennessee offense. And it's showing. That team is starting to fall apart here. Patriots, once again, hottest team in the league right now. They keep it moving. Giants and the Eagles, not much to say about this one. Another super ugly game that you kind of expected to be ugly. Giants get the win over the Eagles. 2 fraudulent teams. Hurts those 3 picks. It was just an ugly one. Another ugly game was the Falcons and the Jaguars. Cordell Patterson. He's a stud, man. He's a stud, especially in fantasy. But he returned from his sprained ankle with 108 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He also had 2 receptions, 27 yards passing. But Falcons defense able to shut down Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence enough to get the win. Marvin Jones did have that great catch, though. The Jets and the Texans. The Jets get the win over Texans, 21-14. Big win for the Jets. They're winning a little bit too much. You're not good enough to be winning as much as you are, but I digress. The Texans enjoy one of the top 5 picks because Lord knows you need it. It was just, it was the Jets and the Texans. Y'all don't want to hear me talk about the Jets and the Texans. Broncos and the Chargers, though. I had a feeling. I had a feeling about this game. It felt like another letdown was coming for the Chargers. After all the momentum they had, past couple weeks, it felt right. It felt right that y'all would lose in this game. It just felt like one of those. And what do you know? You did. You did. Teddy H2O, very efficient day. But really, if we're being honest here, Pat Surtain, Javonte Williams, the youngins, the rookies were huge in this game for the Broncos. Williams with the touchdown, Pat Surtain with that pick six to put them over the top. And it was too little too late for the Chargers to make that comeback. Too little too late. Surtain with 2 picks over Herbert. And Broncos get the big home win and move to 6-5. Ties them with the Chargers. Makes that division look a little bit closer there. Vikings and the 49ers. Injuries. Deebo Samuel having a great game. He got hurt. We'll see what happens there. But Elijah Mitchell stole the show, 131 and a touchdown there. That ended up being a huge reason why. Also, Nick Bosa, another sack for him. And it was huge. 49ers, Mitchell, he was able to get enough of that offense, get them going, had them in a rhythm pretty much all game. They did what they wanted to with that Vikings defense. Of course, that Everson Griffin, hoping the best for him. That was a different type of situation we had during the week. But they were able to get it done. Cousins, not bad, 238, 2 touchdowns. But like I said, 49ers were able to put up points, were able to make plays, they get the win. And to conclude here, the Ravens, despite Lamar Jackson having his worst passing game of the season, throwing 4 interceptions, and really just not having a good game by his standards, were able to get it done. He did just enough. Ravens defense, everything, whole team effort, did just enough to get past the Browns. Like I said, man, Baker Mayfield, sit him. Not because he's playing bad, but because he's injured. And that's going to affect your play. Just play somebody else. You're built through the ground anyway. Please sit Baker until he's healthy because you're not going to win. You're not going to win. This is not winning football. And more power to the Ravens. They moved to 8-3. They stay in control of that AFC North, even though they got the Bengals to worry about. But huge win here, huge win in the division. Browns, again, y'all got to figure something out. Because what you got going right now is absolutely positively not it. And to end off here, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, when I say that, when I mutter those words, and when we have concluded with all of the major topics, we have reached the Roundup. And of course, we're going to kick that off very quickly. It's a brief Roundup, not as lengthy as last week. We're going to start off with Rangnick. Reef Rangnick headed to Manchester United. I think, as everybody suspects, honestly, it was a great hire. Great hire. He's a great team builder. It's going to be interesting to see that Gen press. He's the Gen press godfather. It's going to be interesting to see how he incorporates that at Man U. Also, might see a little bit of more of a youth movement there, just because of the nature of the play style. But Rangnick, I think it's a great hire. I think he's going to get them right. I think he's going to get Manchester United right. I really do. I think they're just going to do the manager for the season, end it out. Then they hire who they want. A lot of people looking towards Ajax's coach, who I don't know why his name is evading me right now. But looking for him, looking for Ajax's manager, and bringing him in as another disciple of Rangnick, and him moving to more of a sporting director, which I would like to see. And I think that'd be beneficial for Manchester United. But overall, I think that's a good hire. In the NBA, to talk about the NBA, the Suns and the Warriors are on, blistering hot. The Warriors are 18-2. Steph is looking like the MVP. The Suns have won 15 straight. It's looking like those two are going to be competing for that number 1 seed. The Suns picking off from where they left off, proving that it wasn't a fluke last year. They are a legitimately good team. Let's see how they can improve upon it. And once again, the Warriors, they've been so good so far this season. And of course, to end off here, Brooks Koepka takes down Bryson DeChambeau in the match, highly anticipated. We didn't even go the full 12, man. We didn't even need the full 12. Brooks got Bryson up out of there. He looked like he didn't want to be there. He showed up at the, He showed up at the Duke Gonzaga fight the Duke Gonzaga game, was it? Or what was it? He showed up at something later that game. Yeah, he showed up at the Duke Gonzaga game, which was also in Vegas. Yeah, he showed up there alongside Floyd. Listen. Brooks came. Did what he had to do. He didn't want to do too much interaction. He came. He won the match. He said, "I'm up out of here. I'm here to throw this money and these millions of dollars I just won up in Vegas. Have a good time. I don't really care about Bryson DeChambeau." And the rivalry continues on. We'll see what happens next year. Again, I think it's good for the sport. But yeah, Bryson, not his best showing, but Brooks did what he does. And that's it for episode 69. Like I said, it was a very good episode. A lot of stuff to talk about. Probably around like an hour or so. So we got a nice little lengthy one. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have a great week. We're into the last month of 2021. Hope it's been a great year for you. If not, hopefully you have a great concluding month. College students, we almost out of here. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed. Ocho, signing off.